straight shootout between the four most exciting players in the world. Semi-finals night at thepartybest.com. Premier League from the AECC here in Aberdeen. Well, John Higgins has already secured his place in the final thanks to a fine 5-3 victory over China's number one, Ding Junhui. Ding Junhui, one of the stars of the tournament, with 13 century breaks in all. Coming up, the 7-time world champion Stephen Hendry meets the reigning Premier League champion Ronnie O'Sullivan in our second semi-final of the evening.
Commentators Neil Foles and Clyde Everton.
Two giants of the modern game in opposition. Ronnie O'Sullivan going for his 4th consecutive Premier League title and 7th in all.
Stephen Hendry to break.
Versus Stephen Hendry, the pride of Scotland, or at any rate one of the prides, as another, John Higgins, is already through to the final. Well, immediately, Hendry's break-off shot has given O'Sullivan something to think about.
It's worked out not too bad, really. Wasn't exactly what Ronnie was looking for, but it'll do. Looking forward to this match.
Hendry taking advantage of the touching ball situation. Seems amazing, but it's 3 years bar 2 months since he's won a title. And it's not been through want of practice, preparation or desire. O'Sullivan's safety shot has worked out extremely well from his point of view. He would have been playing the cue ball to the baulk cushion.
Good escape there from Stephen, but Ronnie fancies this red along the cushion. It's not there. Not close. It's always a missable shot, this. Now then, maybe a first chance for Stephen. Doesn't want the other red to go in, that's alright. Maybe the pocket for later.
Well, in the preamble to this match, O'Sullivan said that under shot clock conditions, that if he got ahead, he could run away with it. So that remark alone highlighted the need for Hendry to make a sharp start, and he couldn't have asked for a better opportunity.
Just thinking about the difference between tonight, Clive, and the match that Stephen played in the last of his group games, where it was, I think, frame 5 when he potted his first ball 16. Against Ding. He lost 6-0. It won't matter now, but I thought it might be playing on his mind a little bit. It was a bit of a hiding he took.
17.
Well, the problem there was the awkward bridging, and in turn he's left himself with a much thinner black than he would have liked. So thin, in fact, that
17.
It wasn't worth attempting.
Yes, I mean, as Clive said, the fact the red only just crept into the pocket was the reason why the position went wrong.
Even so, whatever the reason, 17 from the opening that Hendry had was a lot less than he was hoping to make. But going back to Hendry's match against Ding, Neil, when Ding set a new world record, 495 unanswered points. It was the 5th frame before Hendry potted a ball, but it wasn't as if he was missing all over the place. It was just that from his first chance, Ding was simply potting all the balls.
That's exactly what happened on that occasion. Ronnie pots his first ball here. Clean long pot this. Early left-handed shot. Looks like he's going to play deep screw. Wonderful talent, isn't it, that? Still never ceases to amaze me. Play left-handed, wrong-handed, and screw back the length of the table.
Four.
Well, 7 or 8 years ago, when O'Sullivan won this event in the semi-finals, for the first time he played about 80% of his shots left-handed, and completely flummoxed Peter Ebden, it must be said, because Ebden thought that it was some sort of
11.
Ploy to take the rise out of him, and in fact O'Sullivan had been practicing a lot left-handed, and
12.
as I say, playing 80% of the shots left-handed, beat Ebden 6-2, and then went on to beat Hendry in the final.
Ronnie is very quick to see the shot. A couple of
19.
shots back there, he changed his mind about 4 times, but he still had plenty of time left on the shot clock. No, just gone a fraction too far. Should be okay. You may have to just nudge into the reds if he's not careful, just to hold the cue ball more than to split them. Yep, into the reds he's gone. It's worked out pretty well. Here's a shot again. I mean, the reds are well split, but he just couldn't control the cue ball any other way but to nudge into them. Certainly, the cushions, as we mentioned earlier, are certainly flying a little bit. It seems that Ronnie gets used to these kind of things very quickly. That was a little bit of a heavy contact, but it's not too bad again.
$31.
Once again, just how quickly Ronnie sees a shot like that to play on the pink.
$38. $39.
Just looking at the scores, a couple of awkward reds on the right of the table, but for the moment I don't think he's going to have to worry about those. He can win the frame by virtue of taking the remaining open reds with high colours. Lead of 29 points, he can score another
46.
24, 3 reds and blacks, not to worry about the 2 reds over on the cushion.
47.
This time he may have to play a little cannon. Ideally he'd like to screw into the pink here if he could. Well, he couldn't do that, but I tell you what, that was a very, very good shot. That's exactly what he played. He's got a wonderful snooker brain, as Ronnie.
55.
And touch.
$61. $62.
Hendry had the first chance, but made only 17 from it.
What about that for a shot again?
67.
Played to stun it in just to widen the angle. It was a little straight really for the cannon, but he made absolutely nothing of the shot.
68.
You get the feeling he'd make a century break if he wanted to. He's won the frame.
$75. $75 on the frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
So with that 75 break, Ronnie O'Sullivan takes the opening frame. John Higgins beat Ding Junhui 5-3 in the first of this evening's semi-finals. Ronnie O'Sullivan has taken the opening frame against Stephen Hendry.
Second frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
O'Sullivan made a frame-winning 75 from his first chance in the opening frame. Good pot, and it happened to be a natural angle to get the cue ball between another red and the black, back for a baulk colour.
I'm not too sure about that shot. In fact, I'm not even sure which red Stephen played on there, because if he played on the red that he's actually having to play now, he was miles away from position. Good recovery, but unfortunately he's not on the colour.
5.
That was a good pot. It was the shot before that messed things up really. Very poor positional shot from the green.
Stephen Hendry 5.
Hendry had first chance in the opening frame but made only 17. He's just had first chance in this one and has made only 5. And O'Sullivan scores so heavily that Hendry's going to have to make better use of his opportunities than that.
The cannon on the brown was not wanted by Ronnie, and this is another long red for Stephen. Sort of shot that when he's right he knocks in. Well, that could be the worst nudge he's ever had. Not to be on either the green or the brown. It's unbelievable from there. Second prize. This is only. You won't be happy with that, will Stephen? Very unfortunate.
Well, the table is exceptionally fast, but it's not that fast.
Well, that's the shot he's trying, but he was not far away from it, in all fairness. I expect him to improve for his second attempt. He wants to nudge onto that red and get the speed right is half the battle, as well as the angle.
Foul, going to miss. Stephen Hendry 4.
Yeah, this is the shot. I mean, it's a kind of shot that on a newish cloth ball can slide off the cushion, so he's got to make a few adjustments to get it right.
Foul and a miss. Stephen Hendry 4.
Yes, the escape attempt seems to be sliding a little off the second cushion, as well as not being quite hard enough.
was just about to say that. I thought the shot was okay until that left-hand cushion, it just drops down sharply, doesn't it? It would appear. And these points can add up after a while. Now this looks okay. If this drops down like the previous ones, well, that's Ronnie just adapting to the table. That's a good shot in the end. We do hear a few criticisms of tables and conditions nowadays, and sometimes they're justified, but I have to say, I don't remember Ronnie complaining about tables over the years. It's not really his thing, Clive, is it? He gets on with it.
Yes, and he's also exceptionally good at adjusting. He's not a drama queen if he suddenly gets a kick or something like that, as some of the players are.
Well, that's very true. It's actually quite a good safety shot he played there. It'd be unfortunate if he has left the red on. Well, there's a bit sticking out. Don't know if there's enough to pot this. Well, I think that Stephen just played safety there just to clear the red away. He couldn't see enough to pot that.
Yes, this could go wrong.
Time out.
Hendry claiming the first of the 6 timeouts that he's permitted in this best of 9 frames match.
Well, that's the problem he had. He wants to play that shot, the safety shot, around off 2 cushions. The 2 reds are in the way. He may still have to play it, but he was actually looking at playing off 1 cushion. So he's had to change his mind from that original shot we showed you. Trying to drop off 1 cushion. If this goes wrong, he misses, it'll be put back. There you see, now that was the cushion for me there, that dropped down. That was the problem we saw that Ronnie had earlier in this frame. That slid right down off the cushion. Someone like Stephen would know the angle on that shot.
One. Seven.
It's only a good red to get on because it leaves him on the black, although slightly overscrewed that. Don't see him missing this, but it is tricky. Well, as it happens, it's stretching over slightly here. No problem though, was it? And it's opened up everything again within 2 shots.
15. Well,
you get the feeling it could be another frame-winning chance here. There's a few
23.
awkward reds. And still got a bit of work to do before he makes it safe.
24.
A couple of open reds.
Well, the way O'Sullivan usually plays in the league, I tend to think that
31.
any chance with a few open reds is a frame-winning chance for him.
It's true what you say though, Clive. He adapts so quickly to conditions. I think the bed of the table and the cushions are really lively tonight. I don't know, he just seems to work it out within a couple of shots, what the table's playing like.
Well,
I thought he might try and develop 1 or 2 reds out there, but Still sees a potting opportunity. Played on a choice of reds to the left corner. That is absolutely perfect 45. Once again.
46. $53. 54.
There's a little straight here. May have to play on the left hand of the two reds along the cushion. We'll certainly open up the other one. I think that's what he's going to play, just to drop this in. Once again, he's made light of a tricky looking
61.
break when he first came to the table.
$62.
And as long as he makes sure of his colour here, it's 2-0.
Yeah, and he just checked the scores to make absolutely certain that's the case. So he's playing to the scoreboard. He knows which frame ball is. And it will be 2-0 now, you would think, barring snookers. And if this reds goes in, you feel that Stephen won't come back to the table. It's just beautiful 69. To watch. I'm not seeing Ronnie at his brilliant best, but he's had a chance to make a century in the first frame, and he may go on to make one here. It's just the way that he's taken them. It's been so impressive.
76.
And he's going to take the hard red on. He knows the frame is safe.
76 on the frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan made 75 from his first chance to take the opening frame. He makes 76 from his first chance in the second.
Stephen Hendry to break.
The shot clock rules are crawling across the bottom of your screen. 25 seconds per shot allowable. 6 timeouts permitted in the best of 9 frame semi-finals. Only 3 in any one frame. And O'Sullivan mishits that safety. So here's a decent chance for Hendry, and he needs to take substantial advantage of it. Otherwise this match could run away from him.
One of the few mistakes that Ronnie has made so far. 2 very breezy breaks in the 70s, 75 and 76. He hasn't really moved out of second gear, but he looks good up until that previous shot. Safety error. It's time for Stephen now to punish him.
6. 7.
'I do think that you have to wonder about whether Stephen is just thinking about the fact that he's lost 8 frames in a row in the league and hasn't really made an awful lot of mistakes in the process. Been battered 6-0 the other night by Ding, and the first couple of frames here he's been really up against it. And sometimes it just affects your confidence a little bit.
14.
Even someone like Stephen. And that isn't the best of shots to finish there. Couldn't do nothing with the cue ball from shots like this, and you've got to be careful not to miss the pot. No, I don't know how much future there is in this, the way
19.
things are. The black is still tied up by the red next to it, and this is tricky to pot this and get on a colour. May try and flick the other red out from by the black. That's a good shot.
20.
That is a good shot. Well, he's walking round the table
27.
purposefully, and he is on that red at the bottom of the pack.
28.
As he potted that red, he developed another one into a pottable position.
Overscrewed. Not an awful
35.
lot. It's not so bad. Got a stretch on this. Soft screw around a couple of cushions. No, nowhere near. And it was all because of
Hendry, 35.
the misjudgment on the black. So that wasn't what he wanted. He wanted to get in and make a sizable break.
Yes, the difference was that tricky half ball shot rather than 3/4 to straight, which he was intending to leave. But at least he didn't leave O'Sullivan in.
Yeah, I suppose it's just that he sat out a lot of big breaks in his last few frames in the league, so he wanted to make one of his own, which he didn't do. And we know with Stephen, he is a bit of a perfectionist. He judges his own game pretty harshly. I don't think that Ronnie is certain to play this. There is a red on the left of the table, but he's actually playing safe. Maybe a thin safety. Yeah, shot to nothing, but he certainly wanted the cue ball back. That's really come off the cushion at speed. Not too bad. Little nudge on the brown, stop the cue ball. Now then, this will test Stephen. He's looking at this long red, very much a cueing shot. How's his confidence? We'll see in a minute if this goes in. Oh, great shot.
One.
But Snooker is next, in behind the brown.
Stephen Hendry, 1.
A difficult one to hit this.
Well, it's not as if there's a nice big cluster to roll the cue ball into.
Foul. Stephen Hendry, 5.
Well,
Free
that's
ball.
just Ronnie being Ronnie, I guess. Not sure what he gained out of not asking for a timeout there. I think he just does those kind of things occasionally. He's the only player I think has ever played a time foul, hasn't he, in this format?
Yes, I think possibly he doesn't want to use his timeouts too early in the match. And it is only a 5-point penalty.
Yeah, I mean, he left a free ball. I guess he was pretty sure that there wasn't anything that Stephen could do with the free ball before he decided not to rush. And he's down to just a few seconds now.
Foul. And a miss. Stephen Hendry, 5.
So Hendry putting O'Sullivan back in again from the original position.
Tricky shot this, and of course he's hit the blue on the way through. I think he's trying to get somewhere in there, those couple of reds. But that is not a nice shot that he's looked at, and he's now going to try something else. It was just the fact that the blue was in the way, I think. to lay on them. Has he left the red on? He may well have done. Well, a little tap on the table from Stephen, so that tells us that he's not on one. It's pretty tight, that.
Well, at such a distance to have played a smother shot like that at that dead weight was really something.
I think that's a pretty good safety shot, that. He's played it fairly thick, attempted to get right in behind green and brown, but I do think that was quite a good shot there that Ronnie's played. No applause. And it was easy just to play a thin safety up into the bulk area, but he had an idea there. He wanted in behind green and brown. Stephen just a little fortunate to get a nudge on that red and not hit enough of it to leave the cue ball up the table. That's turned out all right.
First mistake in this duel could be costly, or the first good shot, highly productive. Hendry already 46 in front.
Looks like he's taken this one on as well. He's potted 2 or 3 long balls so far. And that was a little bit more pressure on it, because it was more tricky as it happens. It's worked out okay, I think. Cue ball could have gone anywhere there. Just wonder if Ronnie has got a shot at this red. Yes, he can get to it. Well, missed it though.
Well, that's the first pot he's missed that he really should have potted.
Yeah, I think Ronnie recognises that this is a frame that he could have lost already. Stephen's been in amongst the balls, and if he could pinch this and go 3-0, he'd be well on his way. Another great shot. And that was a good little nudge on the blue. It is again, it's one of these shots where if you get it, you're not so worried about the cue ball coming back to the bulk area. And what a chance for Ronnie. What a chance.
6. Seven.
Not the best of shots there. I think the blue will pop past the green into the top right. Green itself may be on. Yeah, he's taking green. That's awkward now. Awkward but not impossible, the red into the right centre.
10.
Trouble is, even if he gets it, he was coming down away from a colour. This will be a good shot to pot this and get on a colour now. No, that was the problem. Be very frustrated by that.
10.
A shot like that with such an elevated bridge isn't so difficult if the object ball is nearer the cue ball than that, but it had quite a long way to travel. So Hendry is back at the table, very relieved, I'm sure, with a golden chance to clinch this third frame.
Six. Seven.
Played the little cannon on to the pink.
Stephen Hendry, 14.
Well, this is bad news for Hendry supporters. Hendry couldn't really have asked for a much better chance to clinch that frame.
Yeah, no expression from him, but deep down you can tell he'll be angry. Don't know how he didn't manage to clear the frame there, and make it his own.
1.
It's quite close, this red. It's, that he missed. Here it is. I'll be honest, I thought it was in. I suppose it was always to the right jaw as we're looking.
Well, Hendry will be pinning his hopes on the red on the left-hand side cushion.
6. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6.
And that was perhaps a bit tricky. Had to be played very slow to hold position on the pink, and it wasn't all that straight.
That's a relief for Stephen, and Ronnie just can't believe he missed the red. I think he was actually thinking maybe a few shots ahead towards the awkward red. As long as you win them, but Hendry won't be able to rely on O'Sullivan continuing to make mistakes. O'Sullivan has made 3 of them in this frame.
16. $17.
Plenty of right-hand side on that. Some shot there from Stephen.
Stephen Hendry, 23 on the frame. Fourth frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
O'Sullivan elected to break off left-handed. He sometimes switches to the left hand if he feels that his concentration's drifting. Maybe that's the reason he broke off left-handed that time.
I think he's actually not quite judged it right either. Thought originally he left that red over the left centre, but Stephen taking on this longer red. If he gets it, he's on the black. This is full-blooded, this shot. Good shot. Well struck. Those are the kind of shots that can just give your confidence a boost. He knew that if he missed it, he was leaving balls on, but he wasn't concerned. He thought he'd get it, and he did. Now, going back to that break-off, I think Ronnie went just about a whole season breaking off left-handed a couple of years ago.
9. $16.
Play with
17.
right hand side just so that he could get top side on the blue. Don't think there's anything sticking out on the reds. Maybe one at the bottom of the pack that might pot into the right corner. He may feel it's worth taking a chance and going into them if he can. Playing with topspin here at speed. 2 cushions. It was well struck, needs a bit of luck here. He's got a shot.
22.
Really break up as well as the shot deserved. He hit it very well. It's hardly moved. Perfect. But as we saw on the previous time that he went into the reds, not many of them actually moved around. So he's going to have to develop them again fairly soon in this break.
$29.
That's fine. Well, he can go straight in them if he wants to, at speed, maybe with a bit of screw. And that is the kind of shot that he really made his own over the years. That's worked out all right. Once again, it just didn't move the reds at all, really. He's on just the one.
35.
I think take 3 of going into the pack. There isn't much out. So again, he's going to have to move them, develop them if he can. Been unlucky twice. Oh, that is bad luck. Well, the reds have moved this time, but unfortunately one's gone into the pocket. He did nothing wrong in that break with Stephen. Had no luck at all.
So not the decisive break that Hendry was looking for, but at least he hasn't left O'Sullivan anything. Containing safety goes wrong.
One.
Well, typically when you're just out of luck, Stephen makes one mistake and all of a sudden the reds are everywhere. It wasn't the case when he was at the table. Just tickling those reds to better positions. Well, the black was harder than the pink, but well, he doesn't really worry about things like that. He knew the black was the best
16.
shot to continue the break.
17.
O'Sullivan are heavy odds on to win the frame at this visit now.
24.
Not happy with it though, that last shot. Hence the left-handed shot.
25.
This time he could play the pink, but no. Back on that black again, the thin cut.
$32. 33.
Both reds into the left corner, choice of which. He's gone for the top one, that clears the pink spot, but I don't think it matters that much. The red's just
38.
right out in the open, and all of a sudden it is looking like 3-1, barring something that we hadn't thought about.
39.
Well, he's well away. The luck was with him at the start of the frame, or certainly against Stephen Hendry anyway.
.46. .47.
I thought he'd go down for a bulk colour, gave him plenty of choices with the red up there as well.
Well, Hendry was very unlucky to knock a red in when
49.
he went into the bunch. O'Sullivan didn't get an immediate chance from it, but
50.
he did the shot afterwards, and he's made full use of it.
.55. .57.
The applause recognising that that puts Hendry at the snooker's required stage.
60.
Yeah, and as we said, it's not really been Ronnie absolutely brilliant, but he's been pretty lethal in amongst the reds.
69.
And, good break building this.
Well, Hendry, in the 4 frames we've seen, has managed a top break of only 35. O'Sullivan has had runs of 75, 76, and that clearance of 82 to lead by 3 frames to 1.
The break.
Just a financial note, the 2 losers this evening take away £12,500 in addition to what they won in the group stage of the competition. The winner is sure of at least 25,000, and he who lifts the trophy tomorrow evening will also take a cheque for £50,000. O'Sullivan's attempt at the long red fails, so at least it leaves Hendry a sitting red, but position not all that straightforward.
Playing this with left hand side, and he's done well there to get the cue ball up the table. He's unfortunately not gone far enough in and out of bulk. Problem was that the black didn't go to the left corner, otherwise it was just a natural red to black that Stephen was faced with.
Stephen Hendry 1.
Just a question of how much of this red he can see, possibly enough to pot this.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
No colour worth going for though.
Stephen up straight away from that shot, didn't like it. He knew he'd hit the red too thick, which means the reds are going to spread, and the cue ball's not going to get back past the bulk line. That's always the problem. That's a great shot. Tremendous striking.
Yeah, screwed back from distance with little apparent effort. Great timing in terms of the way the cue went through the cue ball.
And Ronnie has got everything in his game.
3.
And we know that he's a wonderful break builder, sees the game and reads it quickly, but he's got cue power as well, as that opening red demonstrated.
4.
The other thing he's got, when he wants it, which he doesn't always, is tremendous safety game. It's all there, everything. Wants the red just above and to the right of the black if he can, but not this time.
10.
This is the red he wanted, because that one will free the black, so he'll be eyeing that one up at the first opportunity. Is it going to be this time? Well, maybe he's going to wait one again, but it's definitely that red that he wants that will really open things up.
15.
As it happens, he may have to play a different shot. Well, that's what he
16.
wanted, but it doesn't matter now because he's thought of a better shot from where the balls were.
Three. 24.
May decide to use the little cluster of 5 reds. He knew that he had a reserve red that was in the open, and he's found another one into the left centre. This was the shot with the
31.
reds that were sticking out, gave him plenty of insurance that he'd be on one.
32.
And yet again, you've got to fancy O'Sullivan to
37.
take the frame in a single scoring visit.
38.
Yes, just as usual, looking extremely dangerous in the balls, and the 25 seconds
44.
just means nothing to him. Sees the shots very quickly.
45.
Well, it could have been in his last group match. He made 3 centuries and they were all completed in less than 6 minutes.
Which is ridiculous. It really is. The standard he played that night.
51.
I think he was just swinging at the balls most of the time.
52.
He's had 2 or 3 looks at the scores during this break. He knows full well that he's 1 red away from a 4-1 lead.
58. 59.
Past the winning post, so the only remaining point of interest
66.
is whether O'Sullivan can go on to make a century.
67.
There's no £1,000 bonus for a century in the semi-finals or final this weekend, but O'Sullivan
74.
is on 502 career centuries and
75.
is closing, though still has some way to go, on Hendry's 708, which is the most that anyone has ever made in professional competition.
82. 83.
Now, the key shot. Yellow to green.
90.
Yeah, he could just play on the green left-handed. No, he's played the cannon. It's going to be a
92.
double then to the right centre to continue the break.
No century, but a break of 92 compiled with great fluency and certainty. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Stephen Hendry by 4 frames to 1.
Giving him some extra room.
14.
He's the most brilliant break maker. It's a pretty
15.
unorthodox table at the moment, but I don't think it's going to matter too much.
Well, one interesting question is whether the black would be potable to right corner once O'Sullivan has
21.
removed the red, which is nearest the right corner.
22.
Yeah, possibly Clive. I'm not even sure whether he's all that concerned at the moment. He's got 3 or 4 reds at
28.
pots to the left centre if he wants them.
29.
But he really is a brilliant thinker in the balls. Get a lot of players that practice only around the black spot, and when the black's tied up you find they haven't really got a way of scoring.
35.
And Ronnie's not like that.
36. 42. 43.
'Well, maybe to screw across and to play on a red into the same pocket. Well, I think that's what he tried, as it happens. Well, it's a rare mistake from Ronnie, that.
49.
Not sure if the red will go along the cushion. Well, Ronnie's not interested. End of break. 7 pinks.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 49.
And it's the first time this evening when he's had a clear-cut framing and chance that he failed to deliver.
Ronnie content to keep all these awkward reds and the 3 colours safe with a lead of 48 points. He hasn't really got to make the running at all now in the frame. It's Stephen who needs to do something.
There wasn't enough length on the Hendry safety.
I think Ronnie's worried about making a break from this. Could have played the brown, but he's keeping the pressure on.
O'Sullivan, 1.
Good rivalry between these two. They didn't always get on brilliantly, but I think they do now. There's genuine respect. Ronnie would dearly like to beat Stephen tonight. I'm sure vice versa as well. He's giving absolutely nothing away here, is Ronnie.
I think one of the marks of a great player is that they never let up when they're in front. They're very good at closing out matches.
Well, he could play this red if he wants to. He doesn't want to let his opponent off the hook at all. But it doesn't look like happening, does it?
Foul.
That's bad luck. Nothing you can do about
Hendry
that.
4.
Still feel it would be, well, a miracle if Stephen could clear up from here. He's getting a little bit of encouragement from the audience, but, well, there's just too many safe balls for my liking. Well, I think he's deliberately left an angle so that he could possibly go into the 3 reds and dislodge 1 or 2 from this. Trouble with that is, got to be careful to get on the colour. Well, he's going to play that, do some damage. He's done well. Nicely on the pink. Good shot.
Yes, and 1 red developed into a favourable position. The other 2 not so good.
14. $15.
No, not really. I think he's still
18.
got a shot on, but he meant to leave just a little more distance between cue ball and red.
Yeah, I'm not even sure whether he played onto the red into the corner pocket, maybe into the middle, but the break continues. And here's another important shot. Got to get onto the last red somehow. Well, that's not a bad effort. Of course, where the yellow is, I mean, he's still got huge problems to come.
22.
Just can't imagine he could possibly get that out and make it potable in this break. Just can't see a way that could possibly happen. Too much to ask, wasn't it?
22.
But his intention was to pop the pink and open that cluster with the yellow in it.
Well, Ronnie just doesn't really want to go into those 3 balls there, the yellow, the blue and the black. And that's why he didn't go for the red. It was on. Just didn't want to take the chance and dislodge them because he knows while they're there it's going to be hard. Mind you, he didn't want that either.
Yes, he's overhit that safety.
Well, I think he got the shot that you mentioned, if he wants it, Clive, that he played on maybe the shot before to go into the yellow from the pink. But again, it's one thing getting the cannon, it's another thing being on the yellow. And that was always the problem. It just didn't look as if he was going to find a way to pot it. Great effort, though.
7.
And at least now he can see a way of winning the frame. The balls are open again. So there is some hope still. Well, he could have done with the snooker behind the black, but I think there is a gap now. Ronnie can get through. Made a big difference, that. Just wonder if Stephen fancies this. Difficult. He clearly didn't fancy it. He's not even gone for it. I think he knows he's just got one last chance now. Fight hard for a chance on the yellow. Maybe clear up and pull a frame back. It's a possibility.
Well, it's a good shot from O'Sullivan. Obviously well directed, but also it was pretty clever that he used the back of the black to kill the pace on the yellow, which might have finished near a pocket otherwise.
Foul. Miss. On the O'Sullivan 4, free ball.
Yes, can't hit both edges of the ball on the yellow, so O'Sullivan can nominate any other colour as his extra yellow.
Green ball.
He had the option to put Stephen back in, but he thinks he can win the frame and the match at this visit to the table now. Well, he's given Stephen a chance. Always easy in hindsight, but of course he could have put Stephen back in. It wasn't easy. The shot that he was left with, here it was only the pace that kept the green out, I think. A lifeline perhaps?
It's beginning to look like it.
2.
Now Hendry's favourite for this frame.
Needs to be a bit careful. Naturally he'd play to stun round off 2 cushions, but doesn't want to come in behind the pink. So he might take the cue ball slightly a different angle. And he played the same way, but he just made sure that he was sure. It was quite close that, but it's fine. Absolutely perfect. Great shot.
Pink and black still needed. Oh dear, oh dear.
Stephen Hendry 14.
Well, you've got to say it. If you miss balls like that, you don't deserve to win.
Wonderfully, but scored heavily in the early stages.
Still, match ball eludes him.
Just wonder how Stephen's feeling, because he's got to play a couple of good safety shots maybe to find a way of winning the frame, but he knows full well that he had an easy 2 shots back. I'm sure that's playing on his mind. That's a good shot though. Doesn't want it to bounce, because otherwise when he gets another chance to clinch the frame and match. That's a good shot. There was an example of just playing the object ball. He had no interest in getting the cue ball near a cushion. Plainly to get the object ball safe. That was the right shot. Not good. Very risky. It really is risky to play that close to a pocket on a safety shot. As it happens, this is quite tricky, but you feel got to play it. Well, I'm amazed he never took it on. I really am. I thought he would play that.
Be quiet.
Yes, those narrow entrance shots along the cushion though, particularly from that distance, they are tricky as you said, Neil, so O'Sullivan ended up refusing it.
Ronnie just seeing if that pink will pass the black, and again it will be another chance. If it does go, you feel he'll go for this. I think the answer is it does go. Well, he could play the double because the cue ball goes somewhere in behind the black should he miss it, but I don't know if he is. Well, he's played this very sensibly. Doesn't want to play any more frames tonight.
Well, of course, if Hendry could somehow manage to win this frame, it could give him the impetus to make a dangerous recovery. So O'Sullivan, you know, is quite right to be mindful of that.
Well, that was a good shot from Stephen. As we saw, there was a little bit sticking out on the pink, and if he hits it too thin, the pink's near a pocket. It was a great shot. A good comeback though from Ronnie once again. Priority, object ball safe. Great shot. Seeing some good safety here. Well, this time you feel this is it. I don't fancy him to miss this. He's got his hand on the table if he wants to.
A 5-minute duel on the final pink, but it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who pots it. He beats Stephen Hendry by 5 frames to 1 and will oppose John Higgins in tomorrow's final.